Memory stocks and the chip stocks today are selling off, guys, as if there is no tomorrow. What does it mean? What is price action doing on Micron? Falling, right? But is this was expected? Yes, I talked about it. Let's take a look at it in this video. Sandisk also. What is the price action telling us? Should we be very worried? What are the zones to watch? SK Hynix also continuing to fall. Seagate also making a full round trip back from where it started. Marvel already was negative for us. Nvidia, oh no, get it? Why I wasn't really buying it again? Get it? I'll talk about it. AMD also, liquidity zone, didn't let it go. ARM is already was in the downtrend and collapsing. Broadcom still it's choppy as it can get. TSM made also its full round trip back down, and Intel also is continuing to collapse. So in this video, let's take a look at the price action, right? What we should be looking at, where our money should be, and all that good stuff. With that, I want to let you know, none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. So let's start off with Micron here. So Micron 950 below, as I have been telling you, once we lost it on the Friday, and prior to that also I was telling you that 950 is your risk management area. If we start to lose it, we're gonna get negative and negative again. And look at it, we are continuing the move to the downside, testing the next zone area again, that is $850 area. Just because it's testing, that doesn't mean it's a buy. It remains in the negative structure still. Okay, now let's take a look at the hourly interval over here. What do we have to look for from here, right? So at this point, let me actually go back. Yeah, so at this point, Micron would not really give you any upside unless you start to see it first of all get above 891 area. This was the zone prior as well, which started the rebound, right? So if we even lost that, the sentiment is fully gone right now on Micron. For the bulls, this is not the time that you should be excited about. Okay, there will be times that you should be excited about. Okay, as for the trading purposes here, this is going to not look good, at least for a day more. Okay, price action still until 950 below that will remain in the overall weakness. If this place has to even mark the bottom, it will take days before we see the stabilization. Okay, now the thing is that bottom doesn't have to come here, because right now what is the price action precedence? That is to the downside. So our direction remains to the downside. That's pretty much the case, but the level to watch for that is 820 to 850 area. If unfortunately we lose it, we're gonna make our way down to 653, the next significant level. And unfortunately, Micron remains in the downtrend overall. Sandisk, so Sandisk is couldn't do it, right? This thing, this was the zone 1500, right? Previously also I mentioned that this rebound all will be over as we lose 1500, and it's continuing lower. It is even almost losing the next zone 1325 to 1290, and this zone moves it as we lose it. Sorry, we may make our way all the way down to around $787-800 area down here. And so seems like Sandisk gonna do it. Let it do it. Okay, so right now there is no upside on this thing. It's 1500 area below. Everything will continue to remain still negative on Sandisk. So that's that. Okay, so yeah, let's get to now SK Hynix. SK Hynix, so on the Korean side yesterday, it did close good, but as I always say, you cannot, there is no association as for the price action between the timing of two markets, because timing is different. Even though the instrument is the same, but the timing is different. It closed strong on the Korean market, though prior context is still that we are in the downtrend. There is nothing changed on that aspect though. So coming back over here to SK Hynix, this thing just continuing its overall direction to the downside. This may lead Kospi sentiment later today also negative. Okay, But SK Hynix remains unfortunately the negative direction, no upside right now. 150 losing it definitely starts to make a next leg lower. Seagate made a full round trip where it started the rebound. Yes, it did give the rebound that I was telling you, this is the range, and we got that. And then thereafter we were in the multi-day weakness, right? Already I explained you this concept over the weekend yesterday. This is where the multi-day weakness started again, and unfortunately we came down, a little bit, tested a significant level above that I was telling you, but below that will still remain in the negative direction. Because the session never, pre-market doesn't matter that much, and the session never even started there. Below that it does remain in the negative structure, already trying to react a bit at the next significant level, but below 841 nothing would change. Okay, your multi-day strength will only possibly come above 841 area. Below that we will remain negative still. All right, all these significant levels and all that I used to tell you the price action are all marked by my tools automatically. For you get access to my tools from the description of this video, and you can get my DRAM portfolio access as well, guys, because this is the time that there are opportunities, but you cannot get these opportunities blindly. Just because Micron is selling off doesn't mean it's a buy right away. As it is, portfolio management, capital management, risk management is very important. My DRAM portfolio will show you all of that. Okay, I just left a post this morning from a members as well, explaining the reasons of what today's decision is. Anyways, check out the details in the description of this video if all that interests you. Seagate has a room, as if we lose 803, has a room again to test 696. Okay, so Marvel is also like, this was already negative. I already told you bounce can come here, rejection will happen here, will come down again. That's pretty much what's happening. It remains in the downtrend still, nothing changes there. Nvidia, okay, so as you know, I didn't want to build a position on this thing here, right? And I explained you the reasons that this has been constantly rejecting at this zone, and it's not worth my capital to be put in here. It's just choppiness, and it's just not worth for me to put my capital in this price action today. And 205, 204 above, yes, we would have been fine, but the thing is that look at this crack, kaboom, right? So at this point 194 is the zone, but this is not stopping. Okay, so now, yes, definitely with this price action we can associate any news. The same news would have looked good if the price was going up, but the same news would look bad as the price is going down. So their narrative would be made as for the words and all in the news based off of that. So not really that much interested to go in the news. We look at the price action, and price action is telling us that, yeah, it's right now just not there, right? It's broken. Let's get rid of that zone. So, and 204 below, things will remain negative. Now, if you're a long-term bull on Nvidia, you still have some leeway until like 191. All right, if you were trading multi-day, that was your exit 204. If you are like, hey, no, I'm a long-term bull, I believe Nvidia will be $1,000 again. Well, if that's the case, if that's the trade you are playing, I'm not saying that you should not do it. You do whatever you like. What I'm saying is that if that's the trade you are planning, and you are planning, your stop loss has to be around 191. Definitely the multi-day weakness below, you will start sizing down your position to manage the risk. Okay, but things are looking on the negative side. AMD, liquidity zone just didn't let it go through. That has been acting since the time I have provided you almost a month ago. All right, and it's just been a stubborn zone, right? AMD also coming down, does losing 530, getting on the bear side on the multi-day, and then losing 500 overall. As we stay below 500, it has a room to come down. Okay, 500 below, overall direction on AMD remains bearish. It does looks like it has a room to make more room to the downside. Now remember, we do have some earnings coming around soon. I think that was ARM is soon, so keep an eye on those. And having said that, let's take a look at ARM. So ARM, nothing changes. Rejection happened below 300. That was the area of rejection. Bounce, I told you here. Rejection would happen there. Still doing its thing that I told you. All at my levels, guys. All at my levels, marked by my tools automatically for you. Right? So get access to my tools. Broadcom, as choppy as it can get, there's nothing really you can do here. Similarly, if you are very bullish on Broadcom, 356 area below, you will have your stop loss. And if you want to do it, I don't want to do it. So I don't have any position here. So Broadcom, just as choppy as can get. I don't even like this price action to look at it and talk about it. I might not have Broadcom in the list next time. TSM. TSM is, yep, did the full round trip, bounced at the zone, rejected at the next zone, coming down, does remain negative, so nothing changes. Still bears are in control of TSM. Intel also yellow zone below, bears are in control, price action is in the downtrend, nothing has changed. Okay, that's pretty much what I had, guys, for you in this video. We can take a look at a bit on Nasdaq 100. As expected, below red zone, we are declining, continuing in the downtrend, nothing changes, still has a room to come down. This dip is not a buyer. S&P 500, I gave a zone to my members, still that 745. Over the weekend, I told my members, guys, you have to ignore the pre-market action a little bit because you need to see a session open as well above that or stay above that. I told my members 745 below is just going to be a bounce if anything happens. Still negative though. And yeah, it remains negative. Still, if you look at the daily interval, precisely rejected at that zone and continuing still lower. So still weak. Okay. All right, guys, having said that, that's all I had for you in this video. And with that, I'll see you in my next videos. Don't forget to check out my DRAM free portfolio for you guys. Details are in the description of this video. All right, guys, bye.